Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone that rule well. And peace and salutations to the elect of Israel. To you I say Shalom. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the flock of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. And this quote is attributed to Plato, but when I tried to Google it and see, when he wrote it, but they're saying in Google that this quote, even though it's widely attributed to Plato saying it, that it didn't actually come from him. They said usually quotes from great philosophers, they would be quoted by other philosophers after them, and there's no record of this quote coming from Plato. But nonetheless, it's still a great quote, right? So the dude on the left is asking, what is the real tragedy of life? And allegedly Plato says, we can easily forgive a child who's afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light, right? And that's the real tragedy of life, man. And this is the world that we're living in. The majority of people in the world are afraid of the light. And what is the light? One part of the light is the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Right? The other part of the light, or the other light, I should say, is the light himself, Yahweh Shai, man. All right, but let me jump to. Actually, let me jump to the book of John, chapter 8. John chapter 8, verse 12. Then spake Yahushua again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. Right? Yahushua is the light of the world. Yahushua is the path, man. The path to righteousness and salvation. Ultimately, the path to the Most High, man. Because he is the mediator between us and the Most High, man. All right? Just like so-called great people in society. You can't just call up CEOs. You can't just call up leaders and presidents and kings. You got to go through their assistants, their secretaries, their mediator. You got to go through a mediator to talk to great men, just like the Lord, man. Just how much more the Most High, man. You really got to enter in through Yahweh Shai, man. All right. If you try to get into the kingdom without Yahweh Shai, right, you're the same as a thief and a robber. Right? And how do you try to get into the kingdom without Yahweh Shai? One way is being a Old Testament only Israelite, man. All right? Then you're just canceling out Yahweh Shai altogether, man. All right? But let me jump over to the book of Second Esdras, chapter 14. But this is the world that we're living in now, man. All right? Where people are afraid of the light. Second Esdras 14, starting at verse 20. Behold, Lord, I will go as thou hast commanded me, and reprove the people which are present. But they that shall be born afterward, who shall admonish them? Thus the world is set in darkness, and they that dwell therein are without light. Right? Ezra is saying that he will go out and teach the people in his present time, but who's going to teach the people in the future? Right? Without the teachers, man, without the true shepherds of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the world is in darkness, man. And we can see that today, man. This world is full of darkness. And it's crazy because the darkness is celebrated and the light is hated, man. This is the world that we live in. Everything is upside down. Verse 21, for thy law is burnt, therefore no man knoweth the things that are done of thee, or the work that shall begin. Right? What are one of the ways that the law is burnt, man? You saw so-called Christian churches, right, telling you that the law is done away with, man. Right? You're burning the laws of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. And most of the majority of these Christians, 99.9% of them, are walking in darkness, man. All right, because they're following false leaders, man, false pastors who love the dark rather than the light, man. All right, let me jump to the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, Proverbs 6 and 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light. Again, just like I said earlier, a part of the light is also following law, statutes, and commandments, right? But the light is Yahweh Shai, right? And Yahweh Shai is a walking embodiment of the law, right? He kept the law perfectly in the flesh, and he was written about in the law too, all right? Proverbs 6 and 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life, right? This is the way of life. No other way outside of the scriptures, man, is a way of life, man. Everything else is a way of death, man. All right. If you're not following the Lord to the best of your ability, you're walking in darkness and you're walking in death at the end of the day. All right. You're walking on a pathway to death, man. Because you're being led by blind men, and the blind lead the blind, they both shall fall into the ditch. Salakia. This is John chapter 1. Let's start at verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the Most High, and the Word was the power. The same was in the beginning with the powers, man. All right. And that Word being Yahushai. Right. Wisdom of Solomon talks about how that Word leaped down from the Almighty throne, man. All right. Verse 3, all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. Right? All things were made by him, right? Because Genesis chapter 1 talks about in the beginning how the powers created the heaven and earth, man. All right? And part of that was Yahushua and the angels, man, and the elect, too. Lord willing, we're part of that number. All right, John 1 and 4. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. Again, talking about John 8, also going back to John 8, where Yahushua talking about that he is the light, man. Verse 5, and the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Right? The light being Yahushua shown in the darkness. Right? The light was on the earth. The light was shown on the earth, man, in public for all to see. Right? But 2/3 of our people didn't understand it, and they despised it at the end of the day. People really hate what they don't understand. And so if you don't understand something, you're going to hate it. All right? For a majority of people, all right? Majority of people, they hate what they don't understand. This is why they hate the judgment of the Lord. They don't understand why, certain children are born with cancer, missing limbs, right? They don't understand why people, quote unquote, innocent people, the scripture talks about how nobody dies being innocent, roughly paraphrasing. They don't understand how, quote unquote, innocent people are deleted, man. All right? They don't understand judgment. So they hate it, right? Let me jump to the book of Ephesians. Ephesians chapter 5, start at verse 6. Ephesians 5 and 6. Let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of these things cometh the wrath of the Most High upon the children of disobedience. All right. The children of disobedience being 2/3 of our people, man. All right. Be not ye therefore partakers with them. All right. Don't partake in their lifestyle, in their wickedness, man. Don't partake, because if you do that, you're partaking in their judgment too. For verse 8, for ye were sometimes darkness, but now are ye light in the Lord. Walk as children of the light. And back in, when I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things, if I'm paraphrasing. And those times as a child, we were in the darkness, man. We were without understanding. Really, the Spirit, when the Spirit came upon us, it gave us that understanding, man. And we started to walk in the light. Lord willing, part of that number, man. So we got to act accordingly, man. All right. There's a saying in the world where if you have children, if you're a man and have children, would you approve if you did things, if your child did the same things you did, would you approve of that? So you got to act accordingly, especially for your children. Just like, if we consider ourselves, or men of the Lord will be part of that number, we should act accordingly to the world as well too, man. We are that city set on the hill. All right. So we got to walk as children of the light. Ephesians 5 and 9, for the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving what is acceptable unto the Lord. All right. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. All right. Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, man. Hey, can two walk together unless they be agreed? Now we all have 2/3 people in the world that we love, man. All right. Some of our family members are 2/3, man. All right. Of course, we still wish the Lord has mercy on them, man. All right, but we don't run in the same, we don't conduct ourselves in the same manner as them, man. Really got to love them from a distance. Doesn't mean we don't spend any time with them at all. But we reprove their actions, right? And this is why they spend less and less time with us, because they don't want to be corrected. They don't want to be reproved. They love the darkness that they're living, man. All right, but hey, that's the will of the Lord, man. Ephesians 5:12. For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret. All right, it really is shameful how 2/3 of our people conduct themselves, man, in public and in secret, man. It's a shame. It's really a shame. Sometimes I meditate on the fact that how the angels are watching everybody 24/7, and how they gotta watch 2/3 of our people commit abominable acts, man. All right, and they gotta watch 2/3 of our people just be straight up demons, man. And they probably just shake their head 24/7 at 2/3 of our people, man. But they don't show emotion, just do as they're told. All right, even though they have emotions. I mean, not to say they don't show emotion. They have emotions because the scripture talks about how the angels rejoice when one sinner repented. Let's paraphrasing Ephesians 5:13. But all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light. For whatsoever doth make manifest is light. All right. So when you reprove somebody of their wicked ways, you're really showing them the light. But again, people hate what they don't understand. So they hate the light. They didn't understand Yahweh Shai, 2/3 of our people. All right. This is why they cast them away, man. The world really doesn't understand us, man. This is why we're hated by the world, because we're not part of it. Lord, we're part of that number, man. And jump over to 2 Corinthians chapter 6. 2 Corinthians 6:14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? All right. Again, if you're following the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, you're serving the Lord with faith and sincerity, man. All right. You're part of the light too. So what communion does light have with darkness? Right? We're not supposed to be unequally yoked with these people, man. And what concord hath Mashiach with Belial? Or what part hath he that believeth with an infidel? Right. That's why you don't see the elect in Christian churches, man. You don't see them. All right. Even though some of the elect are probably in there now, but they're just there because they haven't been shown the light yet, huh? All right. And what agreement hath the temple of the Most High with idols? For ye are the temple of the living power. As the Most High hath said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their power, and they shall be my people. Right? We are the chosen people of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. So we have to act accordingly, man. Right? If you are, this is like from a woman's point of view. As a woman, if you conduct yourself in order, if you're a woman, conduct yourself in order, and you get chose by a quote unquote high value man, once you obtain that man, you should conduct yourself in order, man, because you're now a reflection of that man, and we are the bride of the Lord, man. So we have to conduct ourselves in the order, or conduct ourselves that will reflect positive on the Lord, man. Can't be calling Salakia. You can't be calling yourself a man of the Lord smoking blunts, man. Can't be calling yourself a man of the Lord committing adultery, man. You can't be calling yourself a man of the Lord flirting with other men's wives. Even flirting with other men's wives. You can't be a man of the Lord doing that shit, man. All right? You got to conduct yourself in a way that, even people, even though we're really not supposed to care what people think, but people supposed to be like, damn, that man is different. Damn, that brother moves different. What is it about him? Because I haven't seen that in the rest of the men I've walked into in this world, man. We're supposed to be a light, People are supposed to see a reflection of the Lord in us, man. All right, they're not supposed to see the Lord Himself unless you're talking amongst the Akim and the brothers. But people in the world are supposed to see something different about us, so we have to act ourselves accordingly, man. Act like the Lord made a right decision in choosing who He chose. Not roughly paraphrase, Salakia. Just saying. I'm gonna get one more. I'm gonna wrap it up with that. This is John chapter 3. I'm gonna start at verse 19. And this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. Right? Men love the darkness, man. Right? This is why a majority of wickedness happens in the dark, because people think that the darkness is a covering cloak, but all actions are seen by Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. Even if your actions aren't seen, your thoughts are too, right? Your intent is too, right? This is why people love the dark. It feels like they're being cloaked, but you're really not. And this is why they hate the light too, because it feels like they're being exposed, but you've always been exposed, man. Verse 20, for everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. Right? They don't come near the light because their deeds are going to be reproved. Again, just like I was saying earlier, a lot of people in the world will stop hanging out with men of the Lord, especially when the men of the Lord first come into the truth, because they're zealous. They're overly zealous, right? So they stop hanging out with them because they don't like to be reproved. And it's the spirit that you're overly zealous, because it cuts off a lot of fake people that you really don't need to be around, right? Verse 21, but he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in the Most High. Right? Your deeds may be, shown that your actions are, godly actions, man. All right? Let me get one more. I'm going to wrap up. This one just came to me, so I'm going to close out with this, Lord willing. It's Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. Right? If they're not speaking according to the scripture, there's no light in them, man. All right? But I'm going to wrap it up with that. Lord, when this lesson was edifying, again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace and salutations to the elect of Israel. Until next time, I want to say Shalom and Abad Babal.